See this mark? That's my war rune. Only real bloodlines earn one. Guys like you, you'll never get close.
Nick unleashed a painful stomp under Michael's hand. He yelped in pain as Nick flexed his rune mark. The war rune. It was a mark that linked a person's soul to the Origin Expanse, letting them grow stronger and gain powers. The rich awaken early. The rest of us bleed for it. Bullied all his life, Michael kept his head down, waiting for a chance. Today's ability exam was his shot to earn power, break his family's curse, and prove they were more than his ancestors' sins. He would bring his parents back, the ones exiled when he was 4.
You're only here because of your overachieving brother. If it wasn't for him, they would never let scum like you into this academy.
Michael stayed silent. Nick was right. His brother had always been the golden child, the pride of a disgraced family. Somehow, he'd climbed his way to nobility, earning the title of Lord after the academy. Michael, on the other hand, was nothing. Nobody. Nick yanked him up by the collar.
Your parents were smart to abandon you.
The rage hit before the pain faded. Michael was ready to swing back.
Next up, Michael of House Finnegan.
Nick dropped Michael on the floor as the admin walked in. Michael's heart slammed in his chest. This was it, the moment he'd been training for the last 10 years. He walked down the hall, and Nick spat behind him. He turned to his friend.
$50 says he dies.
It was time to prove himself. 10 officials led him to the closet-sized hologram chamber. They looked at him with pity and disgust, as if they knew something he didn't.
Whatever. I will make it out alive. I've been waiting nearly a decade for this moment.
He closed his eyes and stepped inside, the door hissing shut behind him. Don't think about them, he told himself. His entire family's fate was riding on him. He needed to survive. The walls began to close in, about to crush him if he didn't do anything in the next few seconds.
Contestant, fortify your mind to be worthy of entering the Expanse. If you fail to do so, the walls will crush you and throw you out of the trial. You have 20 seconds.
He concentrated hard. Doubt crept in, and he felt he could never do it. But suddenly, the world around him shifted as the simulation began. Jagged mountains shot up around him. A dark, looming forest grew in every direction. When seniors gossiped about the simulations, Michael never thought it would look so realistic. The Academy was training them to survive the Expanse when they got there, so they could become worthy lords of their regions.
Welcome to the battle simulation. Win and become a lord in the Expanse. Lose and you'll be expelled from the Academy. Choose your weapon.
Michael picked up a thin longsword. It will be covered with blood by the time he's done with this place. He could sense them coming. He never thought himself capable of killing someone or something, but if this is his last shot, he will do anything. His stomach crawled. Michael looked up and saw a swarm of flying red reptiles circling him like prey.
Objective: survive the Aerodactyls and answer the questions. The trial begins now.
What kind of a trial is this?
What is the Origin Expanse?
On cue, the prompts flared across his vision.
How long has humanity known about it?
Michael raised his sword, taking in the flurry of questions.
The Expanse is a massive mystical dimension that appeared 511 years ago. It links countless deadly worlds, races, and civilizations together. Humans, elves, demons, beasts, etc. Every person who awakens a war rune can enter the Expanse and claim a territory within it. Nobody fully knows who created it or why.
An Aerodactyl flashed at Michael's side, raking his ribs. The pain was sharp and real, a reminder that the sim didn't believe in mercy. His family was cursed with bad luck, so this wasn't a shock to him. He swung too late, taking a hit to the shoulder. His words cracked into a gasp. Something was wrong. The simulation was malfunctioning. Michael watched the Aerodactyls multiply into an abnormally large swarm. He shrieked when he heard a whisper in his ear.
My blood burns in you. You are my chosen successor.
The swarm flew at him, circling him like vultures. A shadow stood at the edge of the mountain.
Him again. It's not real. It's not real.
Michael's vision wavered. If he passed out in the middle of his trial, it meant failure forever. He tried to stay in the simulation, but suddenly, the last thing he remembered was his weight tipping off the mountain as he lost consciousness mid-air. The system spoke in a distorted voice.
You must kill him. Kill him before he gets his powers back.
Look at this poor boy. How will he survive the Expanse? Once 10 days are over, the other lords will swallow him and spit his bones.
Moments later, Michael woke up in cold sweat to the test administrators leering at him with a frown on her face.
I failed. I knew it.
Well, surprisingly, you passed.
He looked at her in disbelief.
You're joking, right? How did I pass?
How can you not know how you pass?
Michael almost told her about his vision, but decided to shut his mouth. The next thing he knew, his rune began to glow as if celebrating his first win. But the real fight had just begun. Soon, he joined the other students waiting for their gates to the Expanse to open, still not entirely sure why he passed out. He had no idea if his nightmares were bleeding into reality. And if yes, will the bastard attack him again the next time it happens?
Are you kidding me?
Nick was also staring at his war rune. He seethed with fury that Michael finally got it. Before Michael could make fun of him for losing $50, his gate opened with a bright flash of light. The portal blazed before him with a purple aura. Nick stomped his feet like a spoiled brat.
How'd his open first? This isn't fair. You cheated, didn't you?
Michael was the first of the entire group to get his portal, the first to enter the Expanse, to become a lord. He looked at Nick.
This is not over, bastard boy. You have 10 days. No matter how strong you build your Expanse, me and my new army will crumble it under its feet within a day.
Something about his sinister gaze told Michael that his threats were not fake. A chill ran down his spine. The stakes just got even higher for him. He shivered. He could hear him cackling behind him as he walked through, ready to prove his family's worth, ready to prove that he had nothing in common with the bastard. He must restore his family's honor because failure here meant death. Entering the Expanse felt like his body was about to be ripped apart as it sucked him up and spat him out. What was coming for him next was something Michael would have never imagined.
Shit.
Suddenly, Michael was falling through the trees, branches snapping beneath him. What the hell was going on? He hit the ground, hard, bruised and battered, but still alive. He looked up to see the purple portal glowing high above the treetops. Just his luck. He came here expecting a land filled with resources, but it was mostly barren, not great for growing vegetation.
How am I supposed to build an empire here strong enough to defend against 1,000 enemies?
Michael stared up at the protection dome surrounding his area. It would only last for 10 days, and then his land would be exposed to every danger possible. Other lords, violent monsters, treasure hoarders. He'll be dead meat if he doesn't do something here. My brother had warned me about this before I left.
You're too eager. The Expanse isn't some game you win by swinging a sword faster than the next guy. Out there, one wrong step means you don't come back at all.
I'll be fine, Danny. You survived your first time.
Danny exhaled a short laugh and shook his head.
Barely. And not because I was strong, but because I was lucky, which is wild considering our family's history with it. Don't rely on luck. You have got our family curse worse than anybody else.
Daniel raised his right hand. His war rune ignited, glowing like molten silver. The air warped as light gathered in his palm, stretching into the shape of a slender black longsword, runes carved along the blade's edge.
You're giving me an artifact?
It's called Balefire. 5-star tier 0. Strong enough to keep you alive, but not strong enough to make you reckless.
Michael took it in his hand, its power surging through his rune and slowly merging with it. Danny placed a steady hand on Michael's shoulder.
Remember this, Mike. The Expanse gives everything, but it takes twice as much back. The artifact is a tool with its own mind. You can't trust when it will be helpful.
Michael nodded, meeting his brother's eyes.
Then I'll make sure the Expanse never gets to me. I promise.
That's my brother. Now go make the Finnegan name mean something again.
He was right. This place will swallow him whole if he gets careless. Numbers burned across the air in front of him, counting down from 10. How will he do this? A voice answered the question he hadn't spoken.
It's going to be the most difficult challenge you will ever face, Master.
Michael spun and saw a feline girl standing by the manor steps, paws folded, cat ears twitching in the breeze. The cat girl bowed with eerie grace, the maid's dress rippling like silk.
What the hell? Who's speaking?
I'm your assistant, Tiara. That counter is your best friend. Well, besides me, of course. When it ends, this place will be overrun by beasts and other lords. If you cannot defend it, you die here. And on Earth, of course.
10 days was all the time he had to earn back respect for his house's name after what the bastard did. To bring his parents back from exile. They could be a family again. Michael looked at the feline hybrid. Every lord got a maid when they entered the Expanse to assist them with their journey. She will be his guide here. He hopes she's useful. Tiara flicked her tail at him, leaning closer.
I've got 2 options for you.
He tilted his head, watching Tiara hold out 2 objects, a crystal pulsing with fire and a scroll sealed in gold.
The crystal awakens your ability. This ability will be your primary power in the Expanse, and the scroll will unlock the summon who will help you as your right-hand soldier.
That's fantastic, but you said I had to choose something?
You can choose the crystal and make yourself more powerful, or the scroll that will unlock a summon. The summon will do your bidding, but you will have no powers of your own.
Michael was dreading this. This was a big decision, probably the decision that sealed his fate here. He read about it when he was a kid. He wanted to get an ability of his own, but considering his luck, he might end up with something useless. However, if he chose the scroll and ended up with a shit summon, it would be just as bad. Michael pondered for a while.
I'll go with the scroll.
Are you sure, my lord? Get a weak summon and your chances of survival will be close to 0. You won't get to choose again.
I'm sure.
He was not, but he did not want a weak ability. The chances of that were much higher than a bad summon, which only ranged from 1 to 7 stars. Abilities were endless, and most of them weren't that great. Summons told their masters everything useful about their expanse and how to succeed. Whatever he got, its power would reflect his prestige and potential. Summon a salamander warrior, and he was dead in the water. A golden archer, and he'd be untouchable for months. Michael took the scroll and unraveled it slowly. Gold light shot from the scroll, knocking him onto his butt. He looked up to see a hulking warrior step out of the scroll in front of him. He crawled back instinctively. The summon's armor blazed in glowing runes, a spear the size of a machine gun on his back, eyes smoldering red. Both Michael and Tiara gasped, sensing a familiarity. As if sensing it too, Fenrir disappeared and materialized back with a slightly different persona and a mask over his face. He still looked terrifying. Something about him triggered Michael's fight or flight instinct. To Michael's surprise, he bowed to him.
Fenrir Cleave, sir. Your summons.
Tiara gasped, just as shocked as Michael.
A 7-star summon. You've truly been blessed, my lord.
As if to show off his skills, the summon used one swish of his sword to knock down an enormous nearby tree in half. He swung his sword around more, showcasing his fighting skills. Michael will probably have to train for years to be able to fight a warrior as strong as Fenrir. He couldn't explain why, but it felt wrong, seeing him do this. Fenrir's power was easily 100 times his own. It meant he could vanquish foes far above Michael's level and destroy Michael in a heartbeat. Tiara read him like a book. She could also sense the danger.
Summons are forbidden from attacking their masters.
Fenrir stared at him, his gaze pierced through his soul. Why did he look so familiar when he first conjured up?
You afraid?
He posed a question, but he was making a statement. Pride lurked behind his voice. He shouldn't be afraid. Michael knew he should be grateful that he managed to get such a high-level summon. He cleared his throat, extending his hand.
No. Welcome.
Michael couldn't help but imagine crushing Nick using Fenrir. Knowing Nick, he would make it his mission to find Michael's manor and camp and attack in the middle of the night, the day countdown struck 0. But with a 7-star summon, Nick didn't stand a chance. The timer ticked in the blue wall surrounding Michael's property, reminding him that its protective barrier would soon disappear.
You should give him a task. Summons need directives.
Fenrir breathed deep at the edge of the forest. eager for action, his eyes glowing with killing intent.
Anything that approaches outside the manor, hunt it. Don't give it a chance.
Michael's gut told him to keep the warrior as far away as possible. Protecting the barrier would be a good excuse to send him off. The summon stepped through the stone wall Michael had built, vanishing into the forest without a word.
Good. We're alone now. What do you think of Fenrir? Are you comfortable sending him out without supervision?
He's a 7-star summon, that's the point.
All maids get access to the previous history of their master's summon, but when I am trying to access it, it keeps locking me out. I will keep trying to hack the main wall and get some information, but Master, please be careful. I know nothing about Fenrir.
She was right. Michael could also sense something uncanny about Fenrir, but he did not want to worry Tiara, and more importantly, he wanted to have faith in his golden summon. Her hands worried about the fabric of her skirt.
Do you trust him, Master?
Michael's eyes widened, but he maintained composure. He decided to defend Fenrir.
He looks mean, but he's good, I'm sure. People thought I was mean too back in school. I never spoke or smiled at anyone. Let's give Fenrir a chance.
She nodded endearingly at Michael's comparison.
Yes, this is true, but you should know, I have never encountered a summon with his aura. It feels, hungry.
Hey, he's a big guy. If I was his size, I would be hungry too.
Tiara giggled, but her eyebrows still furrowed when she glanced towards the forest wall.
We only have a few days before the dome disappears. Let's get to work.
Michael looked up at the barrier nervously. The rest of the day was spent building shelter. Tiara spawned planks and bricks as Michael guided her to put it all together.
It's getting dark, Master. Should we light a fire?
Michael nodded at her, looking back at the shelter to see if anything was missing. Tiara's shriek made him snap out of his thoughts. Michael turned, horrified, to see Fenrir drop a carcass the size of a small car at his feet.
Jim Jaguar, sir. Put up quite a fight.
Michael couldn't believe his eyes. He didn't expect to see a beast like this for a year if he even made it that long. Fenrir had found one and slayed it in the first hour. How was this possible? How was he so powerful? Tiara backed away in horror.
A Tier 1 beast already? Impossible!
Fenrir's eyes lingered on Michael before shifting to the carcass.
I remembered where they hide.
The words raked goosebumps across Michael's arm. Remember? He wasn't supposed to remember past summons. What does he remember? Michael looked down at the jaguar. It was a huge find. He shouldn't worry about Fenrir for now. He's being helpful. If these jaguars aren't dealt with, they would ransack his region the second the protection dome lifts.
Master, this is
great, Fenrir. We will need your help. Are there a lot of these out there?
Tiara frowned at Michael, disliking being cut off, but stayed silent.
It is hard to explain. Come, I'll show you. You can see for yourself.
Michael forced himself upright, chest still tight.
I won't last a second out there if I see one of these. You're stronger. Clear them out.
His lips curved, almost amused.
A lord who won't look at his own battlefield will die on his first dawn.
I need to build the inside of my domain first. I cannot waste time lurking outside of it.
Fenrir nodded, bowing and turning back to leave. Michael stared at him, in fear and in awe. Maybe choosing a summon was the right call after all. The next 2 days were filled with failure. The lake Michael tried to build dried up. Vegetation refused to grow on these barren lands. They were running out of resources, and there was only so much Tiara could do. Fenrir was raking up jaguars, so food wasn't the biggest problem. Tiara was still cautious of Fenrir. Michael hoped they would get along, but dismissed their clashing as a stark difference in personalities. He looked up at the barrier. It evidently looked thinner than it did 3 days ago. If he didn't make something out of this region in the next 5 days, he would be killed, or worse. It wasn't just bad luck anymore. Walls cracked the moment he fixed them. His crops withered overnight, and the forge that had worked perfectly yesterday sparked and died today. Every time he built something, something else broke. The curse that haunted his family was crawling into this world with him. Or at least, that's what he told himself, because the truth was far worse. Fenrir was watching. Sometimes, just standing there, saying nothing, Sometimes Michael caught the faint shimmer of runes burning beneath his armor. Subtle, intentional, like he wanted the failure.
Master, the energy levels in the barrier are dropping faster than the schedule. I estimate we've lost 10% since morning.
The barrier shimmered weaker, the blue hue dimming to pale white. A holographic projection of the outer expanse blinked above his head. Rival lords, already moving. Scouts, hunters, maybe even Nick's soldiers gathering near the perimeter. The system warned him of it, counting down. 6 days, 14 hours, 23 minutes.
The dome's thinning rate shouldn't be possible unless someone's draining it from inside.
From inside?
He laughed it off at first, blaming bad luck again. But deep down he knew. His father used to say the Finnegans carried storms in their blood. Maybe this was one of them. By the 5th night, he could see flashes beyond the dome. Silver claws tearing through the mist, shapes gathering in the dark forest. The Jaguar army. They were waiting for the moment it all fell apart, for the barrier to shatter like glass. And in the middle of it all stood Fenrir, eyes reflecting that same glow, that same silence. The giant warrior lifted his spear, smooth, deliberate, and in that instant, Michael felt a pulse of recognition. Fenrir vanished in a blur of silver light. The spear left a luminous arc, slicing through the air like a fang tearing reality itself. A heartbeat later, the weapon reappeared, buried clean through the chest of a jaguar that hadn't even realized it was dead.
My lord!
Tiara's voice barely reached him. Michael couldn't move, couldn't blink. The way Fenrir fought, the precision, the fury, it was the same style from his dreams. The same as him. Same as the bastard. No, that makes no sense. The bastard died centuries ago. Michael tried to brush away his thoughts again. He looked at Tiara, who looked scared, but she was unaware of what Michael knew. And both of them had no idea what was going to happen tomorrow. The next day, Michael woke up early and left for a walk as Tiara worked on building sections of Michael's mansion. He walked up to the edge, hoping that the barrier hadn't thinned out too much since yesterday. But what he found made his bones chill. A huge pile of jaguar corpses laid on one side, almost as big as Michael was planning to build his mansion. Suddenly, he sensed someone behind him. When he turned to see who it is, Michael's body began to shiver in terror. In the middle of the expanse, Tiara was just finishing up designing the roof of the mansion when she heard a voice. She opened the expanse guide. Firewall down. Access granted.
Fenrir Cleave, a 7-star summon with unimaginable powers. Family lineage, Finnegan, previously known as the Bastard.
Tiara didn't hear more. She ran at the top of her strength. She needed to save Michael, who was standing in front of the bastard, adorned in the garb he wore in Michael's nightmares. His hands were bleeding, teeth black, and his eyes shone with bloodlust.
I promised to haunt every birth of every generation of my family. But I finally got the chance. When the world bows to me, I will put up a statue in the mansion with my spear plunged in your chest.
Fenrir put his spear on Michael's chest, the tip nicking his skin. A sudden vision burst open. The barrier shattered like glass across the sky, jagged rifts splitting continents. From the fractures, Nick and the Jaguar army started to move inside Michael's territory, and behind them, a mysterious armored lord stood outside the barrier, waiting for Michael, his face hidden. Michael gasped, snapping back to reality, the spear still pressed against his chest.
That would have been your future today, if you weren't dying in the next 5 seconds.
The dagger Daniel gave Michael flashed into his hand, hidden behind his back. Can Michael escape the bastard's curse, being seconds away from death? If the barrier breaks, will Michael fight the 3 armies outside, or the one monster right in front of him? If Fenrir really is the bastard reborn, will Michael's first kill be his own summon, or himself? You won't believe what happens next. Michael is surrounded by enemies. Survival odds are slim to nothing. Click on the Install Now button below the video. On the Play Store, click the Install button. Then click on the Open button to enjoy free episodes of Supreme Lord, only on Pocket FM.